Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Zenitton, and welcome to today's video for Legends of Runeterra. We got spoiler season continuing. We got more cards as well for the new keyword, the new lurk keyword. Four new cards, I believe. So, probably gonna be a shorter video for this one because we don't have much to unpack here. But the four new cards are all very interesting in my opinion. And one of them I really do like a lot. So, let us go and look at those cards really quick. Why not? Okay. So two new units, followers, and two spells. A 0 mana spell, always a little bit interesting to see 0 mana spells and see how to break them because 0 mana is always a thing that can be broken, is asking to be broken. But let's start with the first card. We have Xersai Collar. 3 mana, 2/3 lurker. Has the lurk keyword, and when you play it, it predicts. I don't know about this card. I feel like this is a card you're only going to play if, one, like a lot of other lurker cards, you really care about lurk, and you want to hit lurk a lot. Now, I really feel like this card could be good if it just had, like, something else on it. I think, like, I don't know, some kind of extra keyword, like a smaller keyword, like a tune even would be enough to make me like this. Maybe tough, maybe even fury. Fury would be a little strong though. But I don't like the card. So not even going into other regions. Let's just stay in Shurima first off. In the 3-drop slot, you already have Merciless Hunter. The 3 mana 4/3 would Fear Stun that when you play it, it gives an enemy vulnerable. Sure, that card's one of the best cards in the game at the moment, but it's still in the 3 mana slot, so it still takes up that slot. A deck like this that's playing lurk synergies is going to want to curve out. It's kind of tough to curve out if you're playing a lot of one card. As for the card itself, it's not that aggressive. This stat line's not aggressive. Aggro decks, aggressive decks like to play 4/3s for 3, maybe 3/4s for 3. To do that, you're going to have to lurk twice. Now, granted, yes, it can, in theory, grow while it's on the field thanks to the lurk keyword and it being a lurker. But I just don't know. It's kind of not that tough to block either because it doesn't really have another keyword besides lurk. The predict is nice. I do like the predict. Aspiring Chronomancer, I believe, is the name of the card I'm thinking of. The 2 mana 2/3. That is pretty much this card. It's a 2 mana 2/3 that literally just says play predict as well. That also is a similar card that I'm just like, I like that card. So I do think this card might see play in lurk decks depending on if lurk is good. But I don't know. Like, is lurk good? I really feel like we're going to need to see some kind of either spell or champion or even just a non-champion that really incentivizes going for lurk synergies. None of these cards are it at the moment. Also, I guess like Khahiri synergy is nice too. Khahiri kind of works well with lurk, like the 6 mana Khahiri, which is kind of cute. But yeah, Xersai Collar, I'm not too impressed by it, but it is cheap. It helps you fight for the board. And it is a lurker if you're trying to go for lurk synergies. The next card, Feral. I just learned this is a word, by the way, a few hours ago, but prescience? I first read this as presence, and then it's obviously not presence. And then I said pre-science, and then my chat laughed at me. It was like, streamer, you're dumb. It's not pronounced pre-science. And I think it's pronounced like prescience, like omniscience or something. So I'm going to call it feral prescience. I'm honestly going to say feral presence a lot in all honesty. But this card, feral prescience, 0 mana burst speed spell, predict. That's it. There's not much to talk about with this card. It's a very simple, easy to understand card. This card is not worth a slot in literally any deck. The only way I can see this card being worth a card in a deck is either one, you care a lot, and I mean a lot about spell synergies, so you play 0 mana burst speed spells. Or two, there's some kind of predict synergy, so you want to play this because it is a burst speed way to predict, so you're not going to pass priority, so that's nice too. More likely, in my opinion, what's going to happen is Feral Prescience is probably going to be created by some other card, maybe Rek'Sai, maybe another Lurker. It does have the gem at the bottom, so it is a card you can collect in your collection, so you can put in your deck. But this kind of card is the kind of card that, yes, the card is good. Like, there is no argument. Feral Prescience is a fine, solid effect. The issue is there's a lot of cards like this in all types of card games where, yeah, the card is good, but I don't want to use up an entire slot, an entire card spot slash slot in my deck for this card that, in my opinion, is not worth an entire card. It's hard for it to get good enough value to basically qualify to make it pull its own weight in the deck. But it is a good effect. Like, Predict is a great effect. Another card that's similar to this is Warning Shot. Warning Shot is a fine card, especially if you get it from Yordle Grifter, and you will play it in your deck sometimes, but you need synergy for it, or else it's just bad. And that synergy is usually in the form of things like Plunder, or maybe something like Fizz. Feral Prescience does help out Fizz. Maybe a Fizz Shurima deck will become a thing. Maybe more Fizz style cards will become a thing where it's like, if you play a spell, do a really powerful thing, aka Fizz. But all in all, I don't think the card is good enough to actually get a slot in a deck outside of something like a Fizz deck, or if there's a very spell heavy, spell hungry deck that wants a lot of like 0 and 1 mana spells. And this is fine too because it helps smooth out your draws. A kind of deck that plays a lot of 0 and 1 mana spells, it'll empty its hand fast, so you'll want to smooth out your draws, make every draw powerful and live, and have a lot of gas. So Feral Prescience kind of helps that. But again, don't start with this as a card. It's not a strong, powerful card by itself. Next card. This is my favorite card that we've seen so far, along with the Feline. The Feline, the 1-mana 2/1, I like that card a lot too, but I think this is my favorite card so far. Careful Preparation. I like it because I'm a dirtily boy. I like to slow the game down. I like to just spend mana to get card advantage slash value. This is my kind of thing. Careful Preparation is a 3-mana burst speed spell. It says to play this card, place a card from your hand into your deck. Okay. Predict. Then create a copy of the chosen card in hand. Now, I don't know if this has been clarified or not, because you can actually skip a predict. I don't know what will happen if you skip a predict. You get I've heard some people say like you get a random card. I've heard other people say like it will just completely skip it as well and give you no card. I have no idea. I'm waiting basically for a rioter to come around and be like, yeah, this is what happens if you skip the prediction. Still though, I like this card. One, it really is nice. It helps you just, sure, it's a predict, so you're not going to always get what you want, but let's say like in the mid game to late game, you're like, oh, I'm against aggro. I'm against mid range. I really would like something like an avalanche, or maybe if you're playing like Zillion, I'd like a time bomb right now. Careful Preparations to try and set up your next turn. In the late game, you're like, oh, I really, really needs a lot of value for this late game matchup to try and out late game my opponent. Oh, hey, I'm playing Target. Let's play Careful Preparations, throw the Star Shaping back into the deck, try and predict the Star Shaping, or throw a big Celestial back in the deck, throw an Aurelion Soul back in the deck and try and predict those. Or if you don't have one of those, let's throw like a small thing, like, I don't know, a Spacey Sketcher or something back in the deck and try and predict an Aurelion Soul or something big to, help you win the late game. I just worry, this is a slow card. There's no arguing this is a very slow card. 3 mana to not affect the board is a big tempo hit. And that's what worries me for this card, is that it is a huge tempo hit, but it is good value. The card selection from the predict is really good to give you what you want. I said this on my stream earlier, I sort of look at it like Invoke from Targon. You look at a selection of 3 cards, and you choose whatever you think is best for the situation. Like, let's say you play like Fangs. You're like, oh, I would really like Serpent to help fight for the board or try and pick off something good. Oh, there's a Equinox. I'll take Equinox here because they have something annoying I want to silence. Careful Preparation, you'll be like, oh, I want to take, I don't know, Shape Stone here. I want to take Rite of Negation here to have counter magic up. And that's why Careful Preparation is my favorite. I love these cards that give you a vast array of decision making and card games, and I just like dirtily slow, just plodding kind of cards like Careful Preparation. Anyway, though, I'm hyping that card enough. Let's go to the last card. We have a 6-drop. We have Xerxai Dunebreaker. It's a 6-mana 3/6 lurker. It has Overwhelm, and it has Lurk, of course. First off, I don't think this is the payoff for Lurk. I've seen some people be like, this is the payoff for Lurk. You lurk a bunch, and then you get a really, really big Overwhelm unit. I'm like, yeah, but at 6 mana, 6 mana is about when I'm like, okay, these cards better do a lot of things. This card's not doing a lot of stuff. Like, sure, it's big, but whatever. It's like, looking at other regions, you have, for the same exact mana cost, you have Alpha Wildclaw, 6 mana, 7/6 with Overwhelm. You don't even have to go to other regions. Staying in Shurima, for 5 mana, you have Rune Runner, the 5 mana 6/4 with Overwhelm and Spell Shield. Now, granted, Rune Runner is arguably one of the best cards in the game at the moment, so it's a little unfair to the Dunebreaker to compare it to Rune Runner, but still, we will do it. So yeah, again, like Xerxai Caller and the other lurkers, I really feel like Xerxai Dunebreaker is going to live or die by just how good Lurk is and Lurk decks are. And I'm not sure. Like, let's say you are on like the odd attack, so you can attack on 1, 3, and 5. That would be 3 Lurks. You'll have a 6/6 Overwhelm when you play this on 6, and then of course, if you attack it again on 7, and you lurk again, assuming you, so that means you've lurked every single attack, ignoring anything like any kind of rally or multiple attack effects, or attacking on your opponent's turn effect. You have a 7/6 by turn 7 when you attack with this thing, which is not amazing. It's not terrible. Don't get me wrong. That's not the worst, but it's not terrible. And it does grow while it's still on the field, and 6 health is kind of big, I'll admit, so it does some work, but I'm not too impressed. Sadly, I can't talk too much about that card because, again, like a lot of the other lurker cards, it's hard to evaluate them because it seems like the lurk keyword and lurker synergy is very dependent on some kind of big payoff. We haven't seen the payoff, so if they were to come out now, I would say they are garbage, unplayable cards. Anyway, though, my favorite card, Careful Preparation, looks fun. I'm going to definitely play it in some Zillion decks. Looks great. I love Zillion. Careful Preparation helps out Zillion. So, I'm happy. Anyway, though, kind of short video. I said it was going to be a little bit short, only 4 cards to talk about. Maybe I'm being dumb here with the lurkers. Maybe there is an idea I'm missing here with the lurkers. Maybe there's an idea I'm missing with Feral Prescience. Maybe you think Careful Preparation's not as great as I'm hyping it up to be. I would love to hear any kind of opinions you have in the comments below. Maybe you think there's something I'm missing, which, you know, it's obviously a thing and it happens all the time. I'd love to hear your opinions. Anyway, though, if you just enjoyed the video in general, of course, I would love it if you could leave a like or a comment down below. Always helps me out, you know, etc., etc. And if you guys want to keep up with the Legends of Runeterra content, you can always go and subscribe to the channel, of course. And if you want to watch me play some Legends of Runeterra, you can go and check me out on twitch.tv at twitch.tv/Zenitin. I stream there pretty much every single day. Been slogging through like Aziralia, Nasus Thresh, a little bit of Ezreal Draven, because, you know, that's the meta now, and it's kind of a boring meta. But, you know, we have fun over there. Anyway, though, with that all said and done, thank you all again once more for watching this video. And until I see you guys in the next one, bye!